And learn some new spellings for our sound, our short U sound. Say that sound with me. Very good. Okay, I want you to look at this chart I have up here. I have 4 different ways to spell the sound I want you to brainstorm words that use these 4 spellings, and that those words need to make the sound So when we see OU, sometimes we think that sound says ow. That's the one we're most familiar with. But in this case, it has to be a word that says Same with O consonant E. We've learned that that sound usually says O. But in this case, I'm looking for words that make the sound with that spelling. Okay, same with U and same with O. So think for a minute of words you can think of that use these spellings to make the sound. I'll give you a minute to brainstorm. All right, let's get some ideas going, and maybe that'll help us think of other ones. Avery.
You.
Okay, let's think about that one. Do I hear in the word you? No, that's a good try though, okay? And I know that it uses the OU spelling, but it's got to make the sound when I say it out loud, okay? Elise, tell me a little bit louder. Fun, okay? What vowel sound do you hear in that word? And how would I spell that vowel sound? F-U-N, good. Okay, so I'm going to put it under the U column, and I'm going to circle that spelling to show that that is how I spell the sound. Okay, Camilla, can you give me another word? Summer. Oh, that's a good one. What vowel sound do you hear there? I also hear another vowel sound because there are 2 syllables. What's the vowel sound I hear in the second syllable? Okay, but today we're talking about that short U sound. So I'm going to put it in here under the U. Okay. All right, let's see if we can come up with one for a different spelling. I'm looking for an word. The U by itself is the easiest, I know. Can you think of any that might use O but say How about I give you one and then we'll see. Oh, Avery, did you think of one? I don't hear in that one, but keep trying. Colton? Dinosaur. You're right. Dinosaur. I think we could, the way our accent is, I think we could count that one. That was a good one. Thank you. Okay, so dinosaur. How about this word? What's that word? It's not mother, it's mother. What's the vowel sound in that one? Okay, now can you think of another one now? Jace? Brother. Okay, that's another one that uses the O to make the sound. Good. All right, let's move down to OU. Can you think of any words that use the sound spelled OU? Colton? Okay, you know what? That one would be an odd duck. Because how do we spell the sound in zebra? A. And that's not on here. So that would be one of those odd duck spellings that we talk about sometimes. Jace? Ow. What sound am I listening for? I'm listening for I'll give you a hint. There's another family member that's spelled OU and says Think of family member names. Sebastian? Okay, that would go up here with U by itself. We're looking for OU spellings, which we're not super familiar with, especially when they're making the sound, so think hard. Emery. Okay, grandmother. Mother would be spelled the same way, so that's O by itself. Okay, how about Trinity? One more guess. Cousin. Think about cousin. How do I spell it? Cousin. And which letters are making the sound? O-U. Okay, any more you can think of that are O-U? What am I doing right here? Nope. Think of another word. What?
Tapping.
Close. You're getting closer. What?
Touching.
Touch. How do I spell touch? T-O-U. Let's sound it out. Touch. What letters are making the sound? O-U. Okay. Now, this is where we've learned OU also says owl, so we might have to try both sounds out. Owlsin. Cowsin. That doesn't sound like a word I know, so that's why we're learning this sound, so we have another way to try it, because not every OU word says owl. Ouch. Touch. Does that sound like a word? No. But now we know OU can also say and so we can try that sound when owl does not sound correct. Okay, now we've got O consonant E. This one's going to be tough. Camilla? Some. Good job, sister. Some. And that E has to be there to make the O say its name. Okay, now if we said it the way we've already learned, this would say some, but that's not a word. So now we're going to try the sound as well if the O does not work. Liam. Come. Good. Okay, same deal. O and E working together to say what? O and E are working together to say good job. One more, Colton. Okay, we'll count that under some since it's kind of using the same word. Jace? Done. Okay, how would I spell that? And the O and E are working together to say their name. Good job. All right. So these are we've learned U says we've learned O says Our new spellings for today are OU and OE. So like we just said, most of the time OU is going to say ow, and most of the time O consonant E is going to say O. But whenever those don't work, we now know that we can try the sound. Okay, so I'll add that to our sound wall here in a little bit. All right, let's go back and talk about nouns and verbs. Who can tell me for 5 house points what a noun is? Oh, I saw Zayla's hand first. A person, place, or thing. Go give yourself 5 points. Okay, and who can tell me for 5 points what a verb is? Trinity? A verb is an action word. Go give yourself 5 points. Okay, so listen to this sentence. Listen carefully. Mary saw a tree. Okay, tell me what nouns you hear in that sentence. Mary saw a tree. Remember, a noun is a person, place, or thing. So what words do you hear that are a person, place, or thing? Camilla? Okay, a tree is a thing, and Mary is a person. Good. Okay, tell me what verbs you hear in this sentence. Mary saw a tree. What verbs? Jace, sorry. Mary saw a tree. What did we just say a verb is? An action word. Avery. Saw. What did she do? She saw something. Good. Okay, so now I want to know, how can we learn more about the tree Mary saw? Could we think of words that describe the tree? Oh, we could think of a word. How about the word big? Mary saw a big tree. What is big describing?
The tree
The tree. It's telling me more about the tree. So it is describing the noun. Okay. Tell me other words we could use to describe the tree. We said big tree. Austin, what's another way we could describe the tree?
A brown and green tree.
Brown tree, green tree. Elise? Apple tree. We can tell what type it is. Good. Emery? A lemon tree. Okay, we could say a leafy tree or a pine tree, or we could say a bare tree. Right now, that's what we see when we look outside, right? Because it's wintertime, Colton. So all of these words can describe the tree, but all of them mean a different thing. So that one describing word can be very important for us to understand what Mary's looking at. There's a big difference between Mary seeing a big tree or a small tree, right? There's a big difference between Mary seeing a green tree and a brown tree, right? Or a yellow tree if it's autumn, okay? So that one describing word really helps us understand a lot more about what Mary's seeing. Okay, so like Trinity said, the words that describe the noun tree are called adjectives, okay? An adjective is a part of speech that describes a noun. Okay, what did I just say an adjective is? A word that
Describes a noun.
Very good. Okay, so I want us to look at these sentences, and we're going to try to add adjectives into them to make them a little more descriptive. Okay, and that will help us understand a little bit more about what the sentence is telling us about. Okay, now remember the adjective has to describe a noun. So when I say Jack is eating candy, I can't think of a word that's describing how he's eating because eating is not a noun, it is a verb. Okay, so I have to think of adjectives that describe the nouns that are in the sentence. So Jack is eating candy. What are the nouns that you see, Camilla? Jack and candy. Which one do you think we should add describing words to, or adjectives? Which one? Candy. Okay, so tell me a little bit more about this candy Jack is eating. Liam, tell me about Jack's candy. Oh, Jack is eating
Sweet candy.
Okay. Now, when I think about candy, can I think of any kind of candy that's not sweet? Not really. Okay. Oh, well, maybe sour. You're right. It could be sour. Okay. So, sweet candy. What else could we think of? Avery?
He's eating chocolate.
Chocolate candy. Let's get that tied. Camilla?
He's eating
Rainbow candy. Okay. What happens in your head when a new word comes out? First, we said sweet. So, when I think sweet, I'm thinking of it's almost coated in sugar. And then she said chocolate candy, and now all of a sudden the candy in my head has turned brown. And then Camilla said I'm so sorry. Camilla said rainbow candy, and now what are you seeing? Okay, so this one word is telling me a whole lot about this candy Jack is eating. So we've got sweet, chocolate, or rainbow. Which one do we think we should put? Chocolate. I think chocolate's a good choice. Jack is eating chocolate candy. Now, if I need to find the adjective, I can first find the noun, which we said was what? Candy. And then I can ask myself, what type of candy is Jack eating? Oh, thank you, Austin. He's eating chocolate candy. Thank you. All right, let's read this sentence. Can everybody see it? All right, I need bottoms, crisscross legs. I need eyes facing forward. I need hands and lap. We're a little distracted with our hands. Okay, thank you. John is playing with the dog. Okay, first let's find the nouns. Zayla, what are the nouns?
John and dog.
John and dog. Okay, which one do you think we should add adjectives to, because I'm thinking about this in my head. Everybody think for a second about John playing with the dog. Okay, think about what you see. Which one should I add adjectives to, Zayla? Dog. Okay, so now we've got to say what type of dog. Okay, what type of dog could he be playing with, Austin? A wiener dog. Camilla? Okay, so when I say type, it doesn't necessarily have to be like the breed of a dog. We could just say John is playing with the big dog, okay? Although I think we can get a little bit more descriptive than that. So I'm not saying we necessarily have to have a type, as in a breed of dog. Liam? Okay, let's try to get away from just breeds and talk about words that describe any dog. Elise? A fluffy, oh, I like that, a fluffy dog. Now all of a sudden the picture in my head changed. What about you? Now, because I was just picturing my dog at home who's got short hair, and now all of a sudden I'm picturing Maggie with fluffy hair. Okay, so now she's really, like, she's gotten kind of fat and fluffy looking. Okay, Emery. A cute dog. Okay, so at first I was thinking about a big ugly dog with big teeth that stick out and a scowl on its face, but now I'm thinking about a cute dog with maybe a little bow in her hair that's really fluffy. Okay, so do you see how those adjectives can really change the picture in your head and makes it a totally different scenario, because that one word tells you a lot about the noun that you're reading about. Thank you. Okay, so which one should we use? Fluffy, cute, or wiener? Fluffy. I like fluffy. John is playing with the fluffy dog. Okay, and what's the adjective we added in? Fluffy. Colton, I hope you're paying attention. All right, let's read this next sentence. I see a slide. What is the noun, or what are the nouns in that sentence? Sebastian? Okay, I and slide. Okay, which one do you think we could add an adjective to? Slide. So think about, close your eyes for a second. I see a slide. Put that slide in your head. Now, start thinking about how that slide might change if you add an adjective in. I see a what slide? Adeline. Okay. Is that really a word that could describe a slide? Let's try to, we can be funny, but let's also be realistic, okay? Jace?
I see a big slide.
A big slide. Okay, let's try to get a little more descriptive, because big can mean a lot of things, and now that we're learning about adjectives, we can use some bigger words. Elise? A purple slide? Okay, I've never seen one, but maybe you have. Emery? Okay, or how about a curly slide? A curvy slide, or a twist? What do we call those? A twisty slide, maybe? A twisting slide. Avery? A polka dot slide? Have you ever seen a polka dot slide?
No.
I think we're trying to be a little silly, okay? Camilla. Oh, I'm so sorry. Camilla.
A playground slide.
A playground slide, okay, which that's where most slides are. How about a water slide? Oh, that changed a lot in my head. What about yours? Now I see water rushing down the slide. Okay, an old slide. That's true. And an old slide would be a what? I need you to turn around, Jace. A what?
Rusty.
Oh, I like that. That's a really good. Let's put that one. I saw a rusty slide, Jace. Turn around. All right. I see. And so by the word rusty, we can infer that it is probably old. Okay, so that kind of gives me, I'll wait. Thank you. That kind of gives me a lot of information in one word. Rusty means it's old. Where has it probably been? Well, somewhere outside, because things don't rust inside, right? In a junkyard, maybe. I like that word. Oh, thank you. We're doing a lot of talking out that we don't normally do. Thank you. Please turn around. Please put your hands in your lap and stop playing with your shoe. Here we go. Look at the cat. Hey, what are the nouns? Colton? Let's talk about look. Is look a person, place, or thing?
No.
What is look?
A verb.
A verb, because it's what you do or what you see. Okay, but the other noun is cat. Okay, so that's the word we need to add an adjective to. Now, we've already talked about a dog, so let's try to steer away from the words we use to describe a dog and come up with new ones for the cat. Okay, Liam, look at the what cat? What's a word that could describe a cat? A skinny cat. Okay, now in my head I'm starting to form a picture. The cat is really skinny. I'm waiting. Austin?
A baby cat.
A baby cat, which would be a kitten. Okay. Jace?
Big.
Okay, I think we can do a little better than big. Big's a pretty plain word. Trinity? Okay. All right, so you've got skinny, fat, and what was the other one? A baby cat. Which one? I like skinny. Okay, because in my head, when I heard the word skinny, a really clear picture popped up in my head. Now, we can add more than one adjective. Look at the skinny baby cat. Okay, so you can add as many adjectives as you want, and the more you add, the more descriptive it gets and the better you can picture it in your head. So we'll underline both of those. Look at the skinny baby cat. So look what we did. We added just one word, and that really changed what we're able to picture and see in our head of what's going on, Sebastian. Okay, so that's what adjectives really help us do, is understand a lot more about the nouns we're reading about. Words in alphabetical order, which is why you see the alphabet up on the board. Okay, so first I want us to read over our spelling words together, and then I'm going to talk to you about how we would put them in ABC or alphabetical order. Okay, let's start with our tricky word for this week. Our tricky word is alphabet. Oh, I don't have everyone's eyes with me. Austin, can you please put that away? Okay, our tricky word is alphabet. Okay. Now, the rest of our words this week either end in Y or LY. And we learned the week before last, it's been a couple weeks ago, but we've learned that Y at the end of a word usually says E. Okay, so it can say E, or when it's with LY, it would say Lee. Okay, so all of these words have that E ending, E sound at the end, even though it's spelled with Y. Let's read our words. Ready? Slowly, Colton. Chili, jelly, ugly, neatly, quickly, Jace, grumpy, pretty, happy, daddy, mommy, empty, angry, funny, and then we're back to our tricky word. Okay, so let's look at the alphabet that I have written up here. I wrote it vertically for us because it helps us kind of see the letters in order a little bit easier. Okay, now we're going to do something that's going to make us feel a little silly, but we're going to do it because sometimes we like to do silly stuff. And we're going to sing our ABCs. Okay, are we ready? Here we go. A, B, C, D. Oh, I can't be the only one I hear. I don't want to hear myself. Let's try again. A, B, C, D, L, M, N, O, P, now I know my C's. I can tell it's been a while since you guys have done that. And you used to know it just by heart, but it sounds like it's been a while. All right, so alphabetical order means when we start with the letter A and we go in order all the way to Z. So when we think about putting words in alphabetical order, we look at the first letter of the word and we put them in order according to the order of the letters in the alphabet. Okay? So we're going to take our spelling words today and try to put them in order. Now what I'm going to do is fold the card to where all we can see is the first letter, and then we're going to decide where we think it should go. Okay, it's going to be pretty simple. Let's see if I can dig my... All right, so which letter do you think this card should go by? A, because the first letter of that word is A. Okay. Which letter do you think this should go by? S, because that's the first letter of the word. Okay, so I'm going to hand out cards, and what I want you to do is fold the card over until all you can see is the first letter, and then bring it to me. I'll paper clip it and hand you a magnet, and you're going to put it beside the letter that it matches. Okay? All right, go ahead and fold it. All I should see is the first letter. Okay, what do I see as the first letter on this card? F, so I'm going to stick it by F. All right, Sebastian, bring yours on up. All right, tell us what letter you've got.
A.
All right, Sebastian's got A. We'll talk about what happens when there's two A words in a second. All right, thank you. Avery. All right, I'm going to slide that paper clip on. Put yours where it needs to go. All right, Emery. Okay, she's got a D, so she's going to stick it by D. Camilla. All right, Austin. Let's see, Elise. Trinity. Jace. Grab a round magnet out of that basket. Colton. There, you get yours. Adeline. Okay, then come on. Put it up there. Let's go. Colton can put it up, bud. Sorry, that's his. Here, let me clip it for you. Can you reach it? What letter are you? Oh, yeah, you're good. Zayla and Liam. Did I get everybody's now? I'm going to clip it up there for you since it's kind of high. Okay. All right. We got all our words, right? All right. Stick that up there for me. All right. So by doing this, we pretty much put our whole list of words in ABC order that quickly. Okay. The only thing we need to look at, I'm going to slide this one over within. The only thing we need to look at are if we have two words that start with the same letter. Okay. So let's just go ahead and unfold those and see what we've got. All right. We've got alphabet. And angry. Does anyone have any ideas for what we do if we have two words that start with the same letter? How do we put those in ABC order? Think about in math when we have numbers, like 3-digit numbers that start with the same number or the same digit. Where do we have to go? Where? I heard somebody say it. To the tens place, okay? So if we're in the hundreds place, to put them in order, we have to move to the tens place. So if we're talking about letters, if we've got A in the first spot, where do we have to go? To the second spot. And then we say, does L or N come first? When I look through my alphabet, here's L, here's N. So which word comes first? L, or alphabet, and then angry. Okay, good. All right, we didn't have any B words. Our C word was chili. Is that the chili you eat? Is that the chili you eat?
No.
What type of chili is that? The cold chili. Okay, and then we had daddy. I'm so sorry. And then our next word was empty. And after that came funny. And then we had, what was that word?
Grumpy.
Grumpy. These are hard to unclip. Our H word was happy. And then jelly. What was this one? Mommy. And then neatly. After neatly was pretty. This was quickly. Oops. I don't know where that went. Our S word was slowly and ugly. That really wasn't that hard, was it? If you know your ABCs, you can put words in alphabetical order, especially when we're only going by the first letter. It does get a little more challenging when we have to start looking at the second letter, but we're not quite there yet. Okay? Now, let's talk for a second about places where we find words in alphabetical order. Where can you think of a place where you might look for words and find them in ABC or alphabetical order? Sebastian? At a school? Okay, give me an example of where at a school. Okay. I use alphabetical order a lot to keep, like when we get in line, we line up in alphabetical order by our last name, okay? And a lot of times people are alphabetized by their last name because, well, a lot of people have the same first name, and it's just a little easier to keep track. Last names are a little more diverse than first names. Camilla? And a dictionary. We don't use dictionaries a ton, but when we're looking for definitions for words, we might look them in a dictionary. And can you imagine what would happen if they weren't in alphabetical order? Would you ever find the word you were looking for? Probably not. If you want to find the meaning for grumpy, and the Z words were first and then the A words came next and then the M words, or they were all just mixed together, you would never be able to find it. So alphabetical order helps us find words quickly and easily. Okay. I can't remember if our readers have. So sometimes, not in our CKLA readers, but sometimes we have what's called an index at the back of a book. And so this is more for if we have informational text, like if we were reading a book about life cycles and we needed to find specifically the life cycle of a frog. We're going to pretend like this is a life cycle book. We could look back in the index and look under the letter F for frog, and it would tell us what page it talks about frogs on. Okay, so alphabetical order really is a wonderful thing to help us find things we need to find quickly and easily, so we don't spend all day searching for it. Amory? Absolutely. Especially if you're doing any kind of research, or if I say, hey, I need you to find the page where it talks about frogs, you could look and very easily find that. Now, the table of contents, which we do have practice with, does not put them in alphabetical order. It goes in number order. So ABC order is not always the way that things need to be ordered, but a lot of times it's the most helpful way. Okay? So what we're going to do now, I'm going to take down the words that are on the board, and I'm going to give you a page with the spelling words, and you're going to practice putting them in ABC order again. Okay, it should be pretty easy because we just did it together, but I'm going to take this down first so you can't see it, okay?